One renowned retirement expert and former Goldman Sachs banker is stepping forward and revealing his #1 way to beat inflation. It's a way to receive a nearly 10% yield from the government with virtually no risk. Folks who take the 3 simple steps he's sharing right now could receive nearly $1,500 from the US Treasury in as little as a few months. Best of all, it's guaranteed by law, and you could pay 0 taxes on this low-risk investment. Considering how rapidly inflation continues to soar, you don't want to waste any time missing out on the potential profits he believes are in store for this investment. So to get a copy of his new free report with all the details, simply go to beatinflation2022.com. Again, that's beatinflation2022.com for a free copy of his new report.
Hi, this is Daniela Cambone for Stansberry Research. Thrilled and excited to be reporting after a 3-year hiatus here at the PDAC in Toronto. We are at the silver reception with one of the stars of the silver space, Keith Neumeyer. He is the CEO of First Majestic. Keith, so good to be back in Toronto with you. So good to be reunited with the industry. How are you feeling?
This is a great venue, and I love being here, and it's great to be starting to get together again. I think it's been 2 years since we've all joined at this conference, and I think it's just fantastic. These are the kinds of things we need to focus on.
So for the folks at home, you do this event every year from the Ripley's Aquarium, which is an awesome venue here in Toronto. Why do you put together this silver reception with some of the silver miners?
I love tropical fish. I guess that might be where it starts. But at the same time, I want the silver industry to be together as a one voice, because what I see in this space is, who knows whether it's criminal or not. I don't even want to go down that path, or whether it's manipulation or whether it's managing our books. We know there's lots of crazy stuff that goes on in the gold and silver markets, and if we can get all the CEOs in one place and talk about it, and talk about ways to mitigate that, I think that's important.
And I know you don't want to go there, so I know we're going to keep it light tonight, but I do want to talk about the silver industry as a whole. Obviously, there's still hope for higher silver prices here. How do you feel about how the metal prices are doing against the backdrop when everything else is really tanking here?
Well, if you took out today, I would have answered the question differently yesterday. Today we had a big gold drop of, I think, $54 or something in that range. Silver was down, I think, around 80 cents. These are big down days. Yeah. On Friday we're looking, oh my goodness, gold's going back to 1900. This is the way the markets are. They're on crack. They go up and down with extreme volatility, but the trend is our friend. We know gold prices are going higher, and silver is an industrial metal, so it's going to be affected by much of the negative stuff that's going on in the world with potential recession and so on and so forth. It'll always get buoyed to some degree with gold, because gold's a granddaddy. But I think gold, just the way it's being supported right now, if we don't end this year with gold at 2,100, I'll be pretty surprised.
You'd be pretty surprised.
Yeah, I think that's where we're going.
And where do you think silver will end, Keith?
I think it's going to lag still. It's going to be likely, well, we hope so. Well, we'll be higher than 2,100, but you call it 23 to 26 or something. I'm not expecting silver to really rock and roll
and I'm sure investors will appreciate the honesty. You're not putting out putting out numbers for the sake of making people happy, basically.
I'm an investor in this sector, and I know this sector very well, and I've got a lot of friends and so I'm always financing junior public companies. So I've got to time my investments around the cycle. And I think the metal prices aren't that bad right now. At $1,800 gold, okay, $21 silver is not fantastic, but it's still better than it was when I put First Majestic together. So these are reasonable prices that the mining sector can make a profit at. So
Yeah, we're seeing so many new silver miners and miners popping up, new names we hadn't seen before. What does that say about the state of the space?
Wow. Well, whether it's healthy or not, I don't know, because every once in a while there's a new discovery, and a new star is born, and we've seen that a number of times. But as these bull markets transition into bear markets and back into bull markets, we see a lot of regurgitation of old projects that are showing up in other public companies. So I'm not one to get too excited. If I see a new asset out there that our technical guys get excited about, okay, fine. But unfortunately, that's not always the case.
So do your homework.
Absolutely.
For the investors out there, do your homework, especially when it comes to the new guys.
Yeah.
I want to ask you about the Fed, because the last time you were on, you were quite critical about the Fed. We see the inflation numbers. They're just getting hotter and hotter here. It almost seems like it's unstoppable. We're speaking right before a Fed decision of a possible 75 basis point hike. Do you think they can rein it in here?
Rein inflation in?
Rein
No.
it in, yeah.
I do not think they can. Unless they go Volkerish and just kill everything. But can you imagine the Fed's going up to 6, 7, 8%? I don't know. I just can't. I can't imagine that's going to happen. I think there's a limit. Call it 3. Who knows? I don't have a crystal ball. But whatever that limit is, the market's going to crash. Even more so it is right now. How we're seeing housing markets. We see prices starting to drop. The economy is in a downturn, yet the Fed is still, reacting to this huge upcycle that we had. So they're always behind the curve, and within, I'm sure, 6 months or so, they'll start cutting again.
And I do want to keep this lighthearted, and I know you have a lot of people to speak to us at event, but you did bring up manipulation. And the question I would like to bring up to you, Keith, is that do you think it's interesting that people who had not commented on this topic before are kind of coming out of the woodworks now? It's almost like it's okay to openly talk about this now. At least that's the feeling I'm getting. Do you get that sense that there are more public conversations around this?
I suppose it's like my triple-digit silver prediction. I was the first one ever to say that, and now today we have 3, 4, 5 other people that repeat this triple-digit story. And look, it's people are going to buy in to the silver space. For you and I, it's frustrating, but it's shocking that the mining ratio is 7-to-1, and we're trading where we're trading today.
Enough said. Keith Neumeyer, let's wish silver a lot of luck. And enjoy your evening. Thank you for having Stansberry Research here as your media sponsor. We're thrilled to be here.
Thanks very much, Daniela.
And thank you for joining us. We'll have a lot more great coverage coming to you from the aquarium here in Toronto, so be sure to stay tuned.
Opinions expressed on this program are solely those of the contributor and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of Stansberry Research, its parent company, or affiliates.